This live stream is sponsored by Land of Land. First thing, I really like their approach to land ownership. As preppers, we're always looking for that bug out location. But let's face it, it's getting harder and harder to find one. What most people don't know is that vacant land is everywhere. And the nice thing about vacant land is that there's no leaky roofs, there's no pipes to fix, there's nothing to repair. In some cases, you can actually buy land in one day using a credit card. Now, when we talk about buying land, we have to ask ourselves, why buy land? The simple answer is, for us to have a bug out location, owning land offers a hedge against inflation. We've all heard that one before. And what I personally believe is the most important factor is that land is what they call a hard asset. And it's called a hard asset because they don't make it anymore. And that's why I like Land of Land so much. Now do yourself a favor. Go to Land of Land, get the process started so that you can own some land.
Welcome to my party, we're just getting started. A life is a dream or a nightmare start.
Good morning, everybody. Hopefully you guys had a great Thursday. Obviously today is Friday. Looks like the room is starting to fill up slowly. Oddly enough, Rumble is kicking YouTube's ass today, 32-13. Don't know what the problem is, but I also don't have a solution. So here we are. If you guys could give me a sound check, that would be super duper. I would appreciate that. I need to move the, hopefully we got all these people here on the Rumble side. I can actually get some kind of chat going on the Rumble side. It's always ironic how many people show up into Rumble, but they don't say a word. It's like they don't know how to talk. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and start with, on the Rumble side, West Virginia Pappy. First, Annie Pearson. Number 2, Paradigm Shift Now. I'm just calling you Paradigm. You are the turd. Holy crap, I'm on time in here. Let's see here. Who else we got here? We got the Real Patriot Medic. What we got here? And Laser. Gotcha. So like 4 people, 33 people watching, but 4 people checked in. That's weak sauce, guys. That's weak sauce. All right, let's go on the YouTube side. Rose, the magical Rose. First, Bob Pita. Number 2, West Virginia Pappy, omnipresent as usual. You are the turd. We got Cool Coach showing up here. He thinks he's the turd, but not today, Broseph. Thank you for here's your prize. We got Tuck V showing up. We got some Catitude going on. Catitude, good morning, young lady. Good to see you. Let's see here, and we're going to talk about Catitude very briefly. Let's see. Hillbilly Shepherd. Oops. Ian is in the house. Patrick Stuff. Don't recognize you guys. Good morning. Make sure you subscribe. Let's see here. Spasmatic. Spasmatic. I don't know what that means. Yeah, I know. I understood what you were saying, Catitude. I understood what you were saying. Not a problem. I can read between the lines. All right. So let's see here. The score's still going up. 36-17. I don't know what is going on, but I'm not going to complain. All right. So on the YouTube side, we actually have a poll going. Obviously, the thumbnail and the description, the video description, are kind of dark, but we're going to keep it very light, guys, because everybody's born and everybody dies. But what happens when they do, and how will you have to deal with it during the apocalypse? No, the SHTF. No. Just an SHTF situation. So the question is, what is the top priority when preparing for deaths after an EMP? And I used an EMP because that would be the most likely thing that would cause a true SHTF. And so 54% said sanitation and disposal, 38% said disease prevention, 8% said mental health support, and 0% said identification and documentation. True Speak Dad says, I'm driving too, but listening. I got you. All right, let's see. So if we just go ahead and get right into it. No, actually, no, I don't want to get right into it. I want to I want to talk. I want to throw out some special thanks here. Share a screen, and let's see if I can find it. Do I even have it up? I don't think I got it up, and that didn't sound right at all, did it? Crap. I gotta find it, man. I gotta find. Oh, it's in the description. I can do it in the description. More and right here. Open in a new tab. And we're going to close that tab. And we're going to go ahead and try and present this. We're going to try and share this screen real quick here and say, okay. And then boom, there it is. Guys, for those of you that have added to the funds for Catitude, deep appreciation. I want some special thanks. After my rant the other day, Colin donated $100. Bob Pita, 25. Rose gave out some prayers. Well, we got Anonymous. We got Donna Gibbs gave 100. Andy Pearson, 25. Bradley Collins, 30. $50 Anonymous. 25 Anonymous. 50 Anonymous. And we can go to the, let's go to the next page. Let's see who gave. It may not show all of them. That's weird. It normally does. Previous page. Interesting. But total of 17, because there were a lot more. There were a lot more donations. Obviously, this is not $800. Guys, I've got to get this money to Catitude. So it's Friday. It's payday. If you can find a special hole in your heart where the money comes out, maybe throw a couple bucks towards Catitude. Once again, I don't understand it. I got over 5,000 followers on YouTube. I've got, I don't know, a couple thousand on Rumble. I don't understand why someone can't give $2. And that would actually fill out our goal of $5,500, which would be 3 months worth of bills. And that's all we're asking for. So I'm going to keep this up for another day or two. And then after that, I've got to get this money to Catitude. She needs it. John is not going to be working for several months. This family needs our help. So I think that's all I'm going to say about that. I'm going to thank you all very much who gave what you could give, because that's all we can ask. So I'm going to go ahead and turn that off right there. I'm going to turn on the fancy cam. I'm going to push one of these buttons right over here. And we're going to throw up, let's see, which one will it be? We'll start with this one today. Boom, like that. All right, so now we are going to get into it. Looks like the chat is dormant, which is fine. Patrick says, I've been subscribed for some weeks, but don't ever catch the live streams because of work. But I'm here now. Thank you, Patrick. I appreciate that. And yes, no, I'm not. I'm actually a Star Trek guy, but I can do this with both hands. Not bad, huh? Not bad. Not bad for a boomer. Let's see here. Let's see. Don't see anything else in the chats, so we are good to go. We're going to go ahead and get this party started. So, why prepping for death in an SHTF situation is also the key to survival. So I did a little research yesterday, and I honestly don't remember what inspired this, because, guys, I do this like every day. Like every day I'll think about like a subject to talk to you guys. Now that was no good. No, that's boring. No, we already covered that. And I realized we'd never actually talked about like mass deaths. And hopefully I won't get like a banner or something on the YouTube side, but we're going to talk about it anyway, because I think it's a subject worth talking about. I've got in my research, hold on a second here. It's right there. It's right there. And we're going to talk about that. All right. So immediate identification and documentation. In the aftermath of an EMP, ensuring accurate identification of the deceased becomes a critical task. Preppers must have protocols for determining identities, cause of death, and any relevant medical history. This may involve using simple tools like notebooks and cameras to record information. Proper documentation is crucial for maintaining records, notifying next of kin, and facilitating any future investigations or legal processes. Now, here's the thing, guys. And I also noticed too, I'm going to check. Let's check I'm going to check the chat real quick. Not the chat, but the right now, identification and documentation is 0%. We'll see where we land when this is all over. But here's the deal, guys. In order to, In order to, you guys know that I'm all about community, and I'm all about community because if everything totally went sideways, community would be the only thing that would ensure your survival. It's the truth. And in that community, you would probably need to be able to answer question for travelers like, hey, have you seen this person? She's my sister. She said she was going to Tulsa and this is on the way. Maybe she passed through here. Now what? Oh, I don't know. Yeah, you're the greatest community on the planet, aren't you now, right? No, you're not. So maybe creating like a bulletin board. We've seen this. We've seen this in many of of the um, the apocalyptic type TV shows. Maybe have somebody who's designated to take this. You know, this is one of the reasons why not caretakers, but I don't even what do they call them in the Old West? The people who built the boxes and put the bodies in them. There was a name for these guys, and I cannot remember what it is. Somebody put it in the chat, please. Man, my buttons are all. What is going on here? Why is this? None of this makes any sense. I have a window open. I have windows open on my computer that should not be open, and I don't know why. Anyway, it's important to have somebody in your community, the undertaker. Thank you very much, because the undertaker in these small western towns. Thank you, Rose. Thank you, Catitude. They actually kept records of the people who died in those towns. Now, obviously, they didn't have digital cameras or anything like that, but they kept a record, and they would even They were even responsible for sending records to the states for people who died who were wanted. They were almost like death verification guys. So the All American Prepper, good morning. Let's see here. The ocean is right there for disposal of bodies, no digging. Paradigm shift, it doesn't really work that way. Sorry, bro. Thanks for playing, but we'll be talking about that here in a little while. All American Prepper says, well, let me talk about that in a minute. Let's finish with this subject. But the reality is that somebody in your community should be responsible for identification and documentation of these dead people, because their families may come looking for them, and your community will look like crap. And it's not just for presentation, guys. It's actually in a very important feature of the life death process. That's why we still have it here in our modern age. I mean, we have more people dying every day than they ever did out west. Okay, but we have a process for the identification. We document their deaths so that when people come looking, they know what happened. A perfect example is we had one of our members died should I say he disappeared about a year ago. And we were just like, has anybody heard from this guy? Because we talk in the members chat all the time. And he's like, no. And went looking for him. And we actually have one Patreon I'm now calling them members because now everybody's a member. And her job is she knows how to find people. I have a little bit of that in my background as well, but not as keen as this person. And they found something that looked like a clue. And then, so I literally called the funeral home because they said that's where this person was taken in. And all they could tell me was like the person, they gave me a verbal description of what he looked like, that he had no family, that came to his ceremony, but we figured out who he was. You see what I'm saying? So even in the modern age, these things do happen and still continue to need to happen. And in an SHTF or maybe apocalyptic type scenario, this mentality of let's just toss the bodies in the water has two very bad reasons for doing that. Obviously, we'll talk about the second one here in a second. I'm going to go ahead and check out the chat real quick. On the A paradigm shift says all this living will one day leave me dead, and I'm very aware of that. But until then, I'll eat well. I'm good. Good for you, brother. Good for you. Eat your food. Let's see here. So All American Prepper says, I believe YouTube is attacking prepper channels. I'm having the exact same problem, and so are other channels I have been talking to. I believe they do not want anyone to be self-reliant. There is some of that. I didn't say anything about it the other day, but one of the live streams that I did had like within the first 18 hours had 220 views, and then it's like, or poof, it just goes flat. And so I'm thinking, okay, well, I'm monetized, they're making money, some part of their algorithm has to go, yeah, maybe it's a good idea. So it does not benefit them to do this. So I don't think it's I just think they poke at what they're gonna poke at. I don't think there's some malevolent, some self-identifying malevolent, underling down in the YouTube basement going, I don't like preppers. I don't think they have time for that. I don't think they have the money for that. That's ridiculous. So let's see here. Where are we at here? They stopped sharing. Boo. Who stopped sharing? What are you talking about, man? Tossing bodies into the water until they contaminated our water sources. Rose, you're so smart. I love Rose. I'm not being facetious either, because that leads me into my next subject: disease prevention and control. Please listen carefully for those of you that think that you're the most important person on the planet. Decomposing bodies can be significant health hazards, potentially leading to outbreaks of infectious diseases. Preppers need to implement strict hygiene practices and use personal protective equipment, also known as PPE, when handling the dead. It is essential to establish quarantine zones for bodies until they can be safely disposed of. Knowledge of basic disease prevention measures, such as using disinfectants and proper hand washing techniques, will be vital. Now, when we say this, I want to relay a little bit of factual, historical information on you guys. And let's see here. Let's switch the camera for that, so it's like I'm looking right at you. I'm looking right at you. So what I did was I did a little research, and I found 5 historical events where diseases were caused by inadequate disposing of human or inadequately disposing of human remains. First of all, the one we all hear about the most is the Black Death from the 14th century. During the Black Death in Europe, the sheer number of deaths overwhelmed burial practices. Mass graves and inadequate disposal methods contribute to the spread of the plague, as the Yersinia pestis bacteria was carried by fleas on rats, which thrived in unsanitary conditions. But wait, there's more. It continues. The Spanish flu. Oh, the Spanish flu. We've heard about that. The Spanish flu pandemic saw millions of deaths worldwide. Overcrowded hospitals and makeshift morgues, coupled with delayed and improper disposal of bodies, created environments conducive to the spread of secondary bacteria infections, exacerbating the pandemic's impact. It gets better. And that was 1918. 2010. Haiti earthquake. Oh, an earthquake. How could that do? Oh my God. After the devastating earthquake in Haiti, the rapid accumulation of bodies and lack of proper burial sites led to the contamination of water sources. This significantly contributed to cholera outbreak, which claimed thousands of lives in the aftermath of the earthquake. Oh, wait, no, even closer. Let's see. I'm sorry, I missed one. The Rwanda genocide. The Rwanda genocide resulted in a mass number of deaths in a short period. The inability to properly dispose of bodies led to the contamination of water sources and the spread of diseases such as dysentery and cholera among the surviving populations and refugees. But wait, last but not least, the Ebola outbreak, that thing that we've only heard about here in America and kind of scared us a little bit. 2014 to 2016, so only 10 years ago. In West Africa, cultural practices involving the washing and touching of the deceased during burial ceremonies contributed to the spread of Ebola virus. The improper handling of and disposal of bodies of those who died from Ebola led to further transmission of the disease. Guys, you can't make this stuff up because it's true. Now, I would hope that I'm starting to see I'm starting to see the polls changing. 19 votes, and currently sanitation and disposal at 53%. It's very important, guys. We can't just throw them in the ocean. We can't just toss them wherever. We have to dispose of them properly. When I say properly, at the minimum, you need to bury the bodies and bury them deep. Okay, let's see here. We're gonna go to how many of these? I there's a whole bunch of these. I kind of went on out there on a rant, didn't I? Let's see. Dysentery takes me back to the Oregon Trail. And Bradley's just checking in. Good morning, my friend. Good to see you. All right, let's see. Paradigm Shift. Paradigm Shift says the body had been in the water for 6 weeks and weighed over 600 pounds. The gases in the stomach inflated the body, so it floated like a buoy. Make sure to puncture the gut before tossing. Fish food. Come on, man. Come on. All right, let's see here. Sanitation and disposal methods. Safe disposal of bodies is a top priority to prevent contamination of water sources, hint, and living areas. Options may include burial, cremation, or other culturally appropriate methods. Preppers should plan for and designate specific areas for burial, ensuring they are far from water sources. Understanding the environment impact and practices of each method is necessary for long-term sustainability. Number 4, emotional and psychological impact. Dealing with death on a large scale can be traumatic and emotionally taxing. Preppers must be prepared to support each other through grief and loss. Establishing a system for mental health. Here it comes. Oh boy. Oh, that was short-lived. Coffee anyway. Preppers must be prepared to support each other through grief and loss. Establishing a system for mental health support, such as peer counseling or stress relief activities, is important. Recognizing signs of severe psychological distress and knowing when to seek or provide additional help is crucial for the well-being of the community. Yes, we're always talking about that psychological health, guys, because if you're mentally strong, you can survive. If you are not, you're going to die. All right, let's see here. Resource allocation and prioritization. Let's see what this one's talking about. Manage limited resources while dealing with the dead requires careful planning and prioritization. Preppers will need to balance the immediate need of the living with the respectful handling of the deceased. This might involve rotating supplies like fuel or cremation or materials for burials. Efficient use of resources ensures that essential services and survival needs are met for living. So there has to be a resource balancing is what they're saying right there. Catitude says lime on top. Where are we at? Lime on top of body before burying prevents animals from digging it up. Also, we have enough vultures out here. They take care of everything dead in a few days. Yes, I've seen a vulture. Vultures. And it's funny too, because in where I live, there's actually a series. There's a cycle. So first, the vultures land and pick it clean, okay, and then the hawk shows up, and then has his little lunch, and then the eagle shows up, and the hawk leaves, and the eagle has his little lunch, and then the critters show up, things like that. But basically, there's a cycle of this. The cycle of life and death, I guess. Let's see here. Jordan says it depends on your local laws, but most places allow for burial if you noted on the property deed. Yes, I have property. There's a grave on it, and you can bury as long as it's done properly. That's all they really care about. Wild hogs will eat dead bodies. Cuck V, welcome to the chat. Viking Queen, good morning to you, my lady friend. Let's see here. Community roles and responsibility. Clear roles and responsibilities within a proper community can streamline the process of managing the dead. Assigning specific tasks to individuals such as body retrieval, documentation, and burial helps distribute the workload. Training community members in these roles beforehand ensures preparedness. Establishing leadership and decision-making structures is also important for coordinated efforts. Oh, that was stuck up on me. Gotta drink the coffee. And this is what I was really harping on in the beginning. There's got to be somebody or a group of people that actually do this for the community. Otherwise, it's just going to be bedlam. It'll be crazy. Let's see here. Require thinking about makeshift body bag to transfer if there's no way to bury in urban area. That's a thought. And you told me, I'm so very sorry. You told me that one time, what your I don't know what that is. I don't know if it's kanji or whatever that means. It's like freedom or truth speaker or something like that. Let's see here. Freedom. See, I nailed it the first try. Pretty good, huh? Not bad for the old geezer. All right, let's see here. You know what I think we need to do? I think we need to pay some bills. And who's gonna pay some bills? We're gonna go with EMP Shield today. And the reason we're gonna go with EMP Shield today, you know what? I cannot believe you guys let me leave that banner on for so long. We're going to go with the EMP Shield today. And the reason we're going to do that is because we're talking about what happens. And, I got an email yesterday not an email, but it was a message inside the, I think it was the members chat. I can't exactly remember. It's getting more difficult to manage all of these different platforms, which is one of the reasons that I've moved to the YouTube membership, because everything gets into one thing, basically. And they were basically saying that there's two major food distributors in Europe that have basically said, hey, start transferring all your food out of Europe. They were calling it an iceberg event. What that means, nobody actually knows. But the reality is that there's only so many big boys on the planet, and they all have nukes. And things are starting to get to a point where the more level-headed people are talking about the possibility of this happening. Now, once again, it's not very smart to launch 10,000 nukes at a country, because it's just going to happen instantaneously. It's basically, I think it's 27 seconds is the automatic response time. So it's just not smart. But one big old EMP type weapon. Yeah. And we'd literally be talking about all these things. Now, I've got a plan. I'm going to get in my car and I'm going to go get my girlfriend if something's wrong. And I'm going to go get Granny if something's wrong. And she's got one in her car too. So she knows what to do. So there's a plan, and there's a capability, and that's what EMP Shield offers you as a capability. Now, these items are not cheap. I do recommend that you buy the larger, more bulkier item, or should I say device, because they're generally about $100 cheaper. But I can also save you a little bit of money. If you use code LocalPrepper, all one word, you will save $50 on your purchase. If you go to the link in the description for supporters of Prep Stock, you'll find a link for EMP Shield. And or you can go to localprepper.net and go to my trusted products button, and you will find EMP Shield there. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and jump off of that I mentioned there. Prepstock, prepstock.net. They are sponsors of Prepstock as well. All right, so we're going to turn that off, and we're going to turn on next. I have this feeling every time I turn it on, he shows up. I'm going to turn on. Where is it at? There's so many. I'm going to turn. Is it this one? Yeah. Every time I turn this one, Grumpy pops in. Grumpy's like, "Hey, what's going on, man?" Let's see here. Oh, we got a lot of people yapping here. Let's see. Cool Colt says, remember how they were racking and stacking bodies during the time we can't speak of? Even in modern times, this is a problem. Yeah, you remember the freezer trucks that just mysteriously showed up in downtown New York City? You remember that? Hint, 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 hint. Bradley Collins says, our city ordinance requires minimum depth of 5 feet for any buried remains of pets. Yes. I mean, it's just smart. It's just smart. The general idea. Okay. So you know this, guys. So you know this. The general idea behind the depths for burial of human remains is based on the height of the average American male, because in many of the burial sites during the Civil War, there was no space. So they buried them standing up, and they had to dig them deep. And then they also figured out that if I dug a hole, that was the standard. If I dug a hole that I needed help to climb out of, or if I dug a hole that it was just as tall as me, then no animal would be able to get down into it. That's actually where that standard came from. Let's see here. We got Brad also says, great. Now he needs banner. Now he needs banner police. That's hilarious. Let's see here. Jordan says, does having a family graveyard on your property change the zoning? I don't think so. We had a family graveyard on another property that we used to own, and it was actually commercial. It was technically commercial residential. Let's see here. Rose says, body bags, knit real issue. Utilize bedding on curtains to wrap them in. Will help contain the body. If you have large construction grade trash bags, would help prevent cross contamination. Very smart. Rose is she's like my medical advisor. I'm starting to really like Rose a lot. Let's see here. Tuck says tiny nukes are a thing and have been around for decades. The absolute smallest nuke will do a lot. Like put a deep water port out of commission for a lifetime. Tactical nukes have been around for quite a while, also known as suitcase nukes or backpack nukes. They're I won't go into the details, but they're more difficult to utilize here in the United States than most people know. Let's see here. Freezer truck / reefers also show up in South Florida after Hurricane Andrew, and they didn't leave empty. Now you know. I believe you, Tuck, 100%. Let's see here. Cremation is a lot of work, not to mention fuel. No comment. All right, so let's go ahead and move on here. Legal and ethical considerations. You guys need to remember that just because things have gone bad doesn't mean that this is like without the rule of law. Yeah, because things will eventually return to a certain level of normal, the new normal. And people will remember what people did. People will remember how people acted. You might want to let that one sink in. So handling the dead in a post-EMP scenario raises various legal and ethical questions. Preppers must navigate the complexity of respecting the rights and wishes of the deceased and their families. Understanding local laws regarding body disposal and death certification can guide actions. Ethical considerations include maintaining dignity and respect of the deceased while ensuring public health and safety. Also, religious and cultural practices. Different religions and cultural traditions have specific practices for handling the dead, which must be respected. Preppers should be aware of these practices within their community to ensure culturally sensitive handling of bodies. This may involve special rituals, prayers, or methods of disposal. Incorporating these practices fosters a sense of respect and unity within the community. I do not remember, there's actually, and this is just in passing, there's actually a religion that if a body is dismembered, it can't ascend to the next plane if it doesn't have all of its body parts buried with it. I'm not sure which one that is. If you guys know what that is, put that in the chat. Also, guys, if we could, where are we at here? What are we saying? Rose. Is Rose in here? Oh, okay, there she is. I'm thinking of somebody else. Put a 1 in the chat for me, guys. Let's go ahead and wake up the algorithm. It's time to do the check. Oh, YouTube is catching up. Currently, Rumble's still winning 34-31. It was 32 a second ago, but as usual, the numbers are never right. And checking the poll for this morning. Oh, it just changed again. Oh, wow. 23 votes. Currently, sanitation and disposal is in the lead with 48%, disease prevention 39%, 9% mental health support, and 4% identification and documentation. So we are rolling along. Checking the chat. I'm seeing you guys are Saul. Hey, Saul showed up. Good morning, my friend. Good morning. Let's see here. Nothing on the Rumble side. You slackers. My God. Okay, let's see here. Let's go ahead and hit number 9, decontamination and safety procedures. Handling bodies potentially exposed to hazardous materials such as biological or chemical contaminants requires stringent safety measures. Preppers must be knowledgeable about decontamination procedures and use the PPE, or personal protective equipment. Establishing protocols for safely disposing and storing bodies to prevent the spread of contaminants is essential. Regular training and drills can help maintain safety standards. Now, in the real world, that's great. But, if we're talking SHTF, post-apocalyptic, the bodies are starting to pile up, somebody makes a command decision, we need to do something, guys. Well, the training time is it's time for some on-the-job training. It's just that easy. Let's see here. Tuck says there are 15,000 different cultures in my area. That's a lot of cultures. If you put me in charge of mass casualty disposal, everyone will hate me. Well, that's the burden of leadership, Tuck. That's the burden of leadership. Let's see here. Cool Colt says buzzard swarming will give away your position. Gotta hide the bodies. Gotta get those suckers in the ground, man. Quickly. All right, let's see here. But yeah, it's going to be on the job training if this stuff goes down. So, and communications and coordination. It almost always comes back to communications, guys. Effective communication and coordination are vital when dealing with mass casualties. Preppers should establish communication. It's going to get me one more time, isn't it? Oh my God, that's a hard one. Oh, drink. Effective communication and coordination are vital when dealing with mass casualties. Preppers should establish communication networks to share information about the deceased and coordinate disposal efforts. This might involve using radios, signal codes, or other non-digital methods in the absence of electronic communication. Coordination by nearby communities can also help manage resources and support each other. All right, so let's go on over to the chat real quick here. Laser, thank you for the 1 on the Rumble side. I'm glad to see someone is putting out over there. Let's see. Oh, and it's tied 33-33. Who's going to win? Who's going to win? I feel like I'm one of those auctioneers who talks really fast just because he can do it. All right, let's see here. Rose says, have been. I'm just going to go Judaism. Unsure, but no, when an amputation procedures, some were marked for transfer to mortuary for burial. You lost me on that one, Rose. You lost me on that one. You were thumb fat fingering it too much. Sam says, recently busted my ankle and in hospital realized that I should probably get some splints. Found a Rhino Rescue splint kit for €30. Nice. The whole thing, just that seems expensive. What you need, Sal, is you need something called a Sam splint. If you're going to have splints, you just roll them right up, and when you need them, you just unroll them and ka-cha! And then you can actually form them and then wrap yourself up with them. But hey, Rhino Rescue makes halfway decent gear, guys. Halfway decent gear. But no kit is. I don't understand why. I mean, you're going to make me do it. You're going to make me do it. Where's it at? And it's stupid because I have a code too. I need to update this damn. Box I've created here. The only company that I've seen that actually makes like someone actually put like real thought into it, and they said, "Hey, well, this thing needs a tourniquet, but if I do, the price is going to go up like $10." This and Refugees Medical's like, so you need it. It's part of the kit. Now the kit's an extra $10. I mean, you're just gonna buy a kit, right? You're gonna buy something from another company that's missing something that you want, and you're gonna buy it and you're gonna add it to it anyway, right? That's why I'm really starting to lean to. I build all of my own kits, okay? But there are some things that I just want this. I just want it done right. And Refugee Medical actually does it. RefugeeMedical.com. You can try using LocalPrepper, or you can try using Prep Stock. Save you a little bit of cash. I actually bought one of their slick kits the other day. Every Wednesday, they have like a live stream. It's either every Wednesday or every other Wednesday. If somebody knows, put it in the chat. If it's every Wednesday or every other Wednesday, they do a live stream in the middle of the day. You can, if you spend at least $100, you get entered to win one of like 5 or 6 prizes, and it's all their gear. So I didn't win anything, but I still got a good piece of gear. So, but yes, Refugee Medical, and buy the right gear, guys. Buy the right gear. Buy it and make it yourself if that's what you're going to do. I 100% support that. 100% support that. All right, let's see here. Going back up. Recently busted my ankle. Jordan says, seasonally getting them in the ground might be an issue depending on where you. Yeah, exactly. If where you live, the ground freezes, it's an issue. And frankly, that's also why many of the Nordic tribes who live in the frozen whatevers, that's why they did above ground the cremations, massive fires. They burnt their dead. And there were some of them that did that. What was it? Above ground. I'm sorry, not above ground, but partial ground burials were in places where they lived, where there was lots of rocks. And they would dig shallow graves, bury the dead in a death shroud, and then cover them with rocks. So there's different ways of doing it. And, the thing is it requires work. It's going to require manpower. You're going to eat calories. Someone's going to do the work, guys. And if not, you all just get to die from dysentery or whatever else leaches out of whatever caused this. So it's got to be done. It's got to be done. But that's an awesome point, Jordan. Another smart lady. Let's see here. Sam Splints, paint stir sticks, I guess. Let's see. What's that? My last post didn't show. What do you mean, Coco? The last one I saw was buzzards swarming. That's the last one I saw. And I don't have anything. I don't have anything freaking any kind of like limitations on the chat. I'll do that when people start like screaming at 1,000 posts a second. Blaine Vogel, yes. Refuge Medical, extremely good company. Everything in their company is American made, and it doesn't hurt that they all carry firearms at work. So Kind of cool. Kind of cool. Let's see here. How do I turn that off? I didn't know it was something is there we go. Hide. There we go. All right, let's see here. Patrick says, I'm currently working on building a blowout kit for my medical. What are your guys' recommendations for storing water in the house? What kind of storage is best? My personal preference on that, guys, put whatever you want in the chat, please. Everybody's opinion matters. Let's see here. I have a company, and I'm not going to throw it up there. They're actually sponsors of Prep Stock, so you can find the link. They're called the Water Tank Company. I have a 55-gallon water container in my basement. I would probably get another one, but I also have lots of different water jugs. If you do go the water, because there was a time when I wanted to be like completely mobile, and you can't just pick up 55 gallons of water. Yeah, that's not something you're going to pick up and put in your car. But if you do decide to go the mobile route, please make sure that you do not buy those gray water jugs from Walmart, the ones that they have a seam that goes all the way around them. And also there's a hole in the back for to help water come out. It's like a little ventilation plug. Those things leak. I do own one. I only use it for camping or car camping when I'm not going to be like the jug's not going to get sloshed around a lot. But the water cubes that you can buy at Walmart, they're very good. I would never stack them any more than 2 high. And they have their own spigots, which is great. So you could like pick it up, put it on your counter. It also makes them easier to empty, clean, and refill because it has a wide mouth on it. I don't think you can get your hand in there, but when you're not trying to have to use a damn funnel to refill a jug, it's a good day. Let's see here. Hopefully that answered your question, Patrick. But I'm saying, I mean, you can put, I think those are 6 gallons. But if you're doing the math, you can figure it out pretty quickly how much you need. And then you can actually just you can order them off of Amazon. They're on Amazon. They are good products. Let's see here. And if you decide to go to the 55-gallon route, hit that link in the description for the Prep Stock sponsors. And go down to the water. I think it's the Water Tank Company. It's like very generic named. And you can I think there might actually be a code for you to save a few bucks. I knew Grumpy was going to show up. You're late, man. I actually had your banner up. You always show up when I put your banner up. Grumpy Acres Farms, guys, if you guys didn't know that, they're actually one of the proud sponsors of Prep Stock. Let's see here. I like the 60-gallon bladders that go in bathtubs for in-home emergency storage, last resort thing. Yes, I have those as well. The only thing the thing I did not like about them, because like the bug out location is basically in Hurricane Alley. If it's like, okay, so let's go ahead and start doing stuff, and you fill this thing up, and then the hurricane comes and goes, and you never use that water, and now you got to take the bag, you got to empty the bag, you got to hang it out, let it dry, get as much water as possible out of it. You got to roll it back up and try to put it back in its container. And it's interesting. It's very useful. It's a good product because if you need it, you can fill it for an incoming emergency. But for long-term storage, no go. Let's see here. Big Prepper showed up. Good to see you, bro. I like the 7-gallon square jugs from Walmart. It's blue and thick. Yes, that's what I was just talking about. They're awesome. They're awesome. And they're mobile. Grumpy says they make heavy-duty ones that go in the back of vehicles. Yes, I've seen that. Big Prepper says called Aquatainer, made in Canada. That's okay. There's lots of good products that are made here in Canada. Or that, yeah. Did I just give away my location? No, that are made in Canada, America. Here's the thing about Canadian products, guys. In order for them to sell them here in America, they have to pay more money. Yeah. They have to pay like it's like a tax, a tariff, if you will, to be able to sell them here in America. They also have to establish an American side company in order to sell them here in America. Yeah, a lot of people don't know that. So it actually costs them more to to sell in America than it does in Canada. And in order to get the product sold, it's got to be a good product. So I mean, how many bad products? How many? Do me a favor. Put a 1 in the chat if you've ever had a bad product from Canada, and put a 2 in the chat if you've never had a bad product from Canada. Inquiring minds want to know. Let's see here. You people on YouTube are slacking. 14 thumbs up and 27 watching. Show some love. Thank you. You know what, Grumpy? You just earned. That's right. That's right. All right. Here we go. Patrick says, depends on where you want to store your water container. 55 gallons can be placed in the garage, basement, or outside. IBC totes, 200 plus gallon are good to store outside. Yes. Make sure if you guys are going to use those IBC totes or any other water storage container, that it is not clear. It's a big problem with the IBC totes, because you get to if you let the sun hit that thing, it's going to get all warm, and then all of a sudden the little things that are living in that water that would never come alive are going to start to form algae. Yeah, and you don't want that. You don't want that. No one wants that. So make sure that there are several different ways. Watch your YouTube videos. Some people spray paint them. I've seen people rubber coat them. I've seen people cover them with contractor bags. I've seen people build boxes around them. There's lots of things, but do not put a standard IBC tote out in the sun full of water and think that it's going to be hunky-dory, because it won't be. Let's see here. Whoa. Rural says you've had a bad. Savage says, what are these Canadian products that were bad? We need to know so we don't buy them. Tell us now, Savage Lee. Tell us now, Rural. Let's see here. Hopefully I got the number system right that I created. Let's see. I don't remember the last thing I bought from Canada. We wrap them with 6 mil plastic, durable and UV resistant. Ba-ching. Still waiting to find out what that was. I'm gonna drink more coffee. Do they make anything other than maple syrup? Dude, they make beer. They make halfway decent beer. And not that microbrew crap. Let's see here. They make well, I hate to say this, but a huge part of Canada makes something we all need, and that's called food. They grow lots and lots of food. Okay, so let's see. Savage Leaf says, I spray painted mine, covered in a tarp with firewood over it. Sleeping bag from oh, you bought a sleeping bag from Canada? Oh, that's interesting. Let's see. Earl says, I bought a blade that was made in Canada and it did not survive the shipping. If it broke in a padded box, then yeah, that sounds really weird. I mean, Earl, I love you, man, but you're not being very helpful right now. It's like, I bought a knife. I'm throwing that up to a factory defect. I've never bought anything bad from Canada. You know, eh? Let's see here. Jordan says my neighbor out west has a kid's playhouse set right over his water collection tank. It's funny, but it's for property taxes and rules. Yes. Oh my God, I can't believe that, man. It's insane. Some of this, it's you just use their own system against them. That is hilarious. Let's see. Paradigm Shift says medium size food grade, double walled and insulated fish totes are 1,000 liters and they get bigger too. I like that. Do they have spick, these fish totes? I've never heard of a fish tote before. That's pretty in fish tote. Got to look that up right now. Fish tote. Insulated fish totes with wine totes made by Daco. Okay. Wow, that's pretty interesting. You know what? I'm going to share this. We've got a few minutes. I'm going to go ahead and share this. Presents, and I've got to stop that. I've got to present and share screen and insulated totes. Share. That is pretty interesting, man. They've got to get bigger than this. This is a box or a lid. Okay, we're getting better. We're getting bigger. This is really, really interesting. I am so thankful that you brought this to our attention, Paradigm Shift. Let me click on one of these. I mean, I don't like the idea of these. I'd like to see the lids closed a little bit better. Whoa, this thing is really weird. Let me let's go back to page 1. This page 1 really got my attention. This one looks big enough. Let's click on that one. Let's find out what that one is about. Okay. Bulk. Capacity of 500 pounds. All right. It looks like it's got some kind of drain down here. 42, 24, 32. All right. So it's not huge. But two-way forklift entry. Okay, great. Capacity of 500 pounds, tow rate 90 pounds. Inside dimensions 36 by 20 by 23. So 36. I mean, it's not huge. It's not, but you said they get bigger. So maybe I'm just not, pushing the right button here. Maybe I need to, or maybe this company doesn't make any bigger ones. Bulk insulated containers. Let's try that one. That's Daco. All right. Now we're talking. That's dry ice totes. Regular ice totes. You know what? I'm like, if it's dry ice, well, I don't know. Regular ice totes. This is very, very interesting. Very interesting. I mean, I didn't know what it's any prices. Let's click on that one. Quantity 1. Let's go ahead and add to quote. Oh, you got to get a quote. It doesn't tell you the price. Okay. All right. So maybe research for another time. But yes, very, very interesting stuff and greatly appreciated. Let's see here. That's a small one. I know. I said that. Weren't you paying attention? And YouTube finally won. YouTube is the winner for the end of the day. 27-21. Going back to the poll. The question is, what is the top priority when preparing for deaths after an EMP? 44% said sanitation disposal. 41% says disease prevention. 7% says identification documentation. And 7% says mental health support. So as you can see, guys, these are all very important features. But obviously the top two are directly connected to each other. Sanitation and disposal equal disease prevention. Okay. So the wasteland won't create itself just because, we're going to have to bury some bodies. We're going to have to burn some bodies. We're going to have to be respectful for the people. We're going to have to create documents. We're going to have to create records because people will come looking for their loved ones. And it's good when you do a good thing. All right, guys. Let's see here. FEMA coffins. Yeah. Well. Does that one have? Yes, that has. Those all have forklift holes in the bottoms. They're designed to be movable. Which company? That was the name of that company is Daco. You know what? Here, hold on. I will. Let me clean this link up right here. Let me clean this link up, and I will put it in both the Rumble and the YouTube. Hold on a second. I got to do this manually. Delete And let's go save, control, copy, and enter. And then on the YouTube side, here it comes. Pa-cha-cha. But they have to give you a quote. So, you know, I'm sure it's an extremely unique idea. Okay. It's an extremely unique idea. All right. So I cannot fault it. They look like they might even be stackable. That's interesting. I do like the fact that they're insulated. So that makes me wonder if that might open the door for outdoor water storage. Something to think about. And obviously light can't get in, so you're not going to get any of the algae growth. So interesting. It's all very, very interesting. Now, I think it would have a lot to do with the whether it's food grade plastic or not. But I think that Paradigm Shift said that it was. Okay, guys. Let's see here. They ain't cheap. It appears so. Milk was bought at Dominion Grocery in Windsor. We don't know what that means, Rose. Okay, guys. That's going to be about it. As usual, I'm going to give one more last plug. I am in the process of moving all of my Patreons to YouTube memberships. There are some that don't want to do it. I completely understand. I respect your decision. If you have not taken a look at the YouTube membership, please do so now. I recommend that you pick the middle one. It offers the most. I would say it is the most economical, because you're not just with the level 1 support, you're just supporting the channel. You get the emojis, you get the little icon by your name, things like that. But you're just supporting the channel, which I appreciate. A lot of Patreons just support the channel. And it's actually cheaper to support the channel on the YouTube side than it is on the Patreon side by $1. And $1 goes a long way these days. That was a joke. Anyway, well, but the middle one offers the most things without just pick the middle one. Become a doomsday prepper. Okay, guys, I think that's going to be about it. Stay safe. Have a great day, and I shall see you when I see you. Have a great weekend. It's Friday. It's Friday, guys. You guys have a great day. Close that. We're going to close that.